Hey, everybody. Welcome to the next Great Awakening. And this is going to be a unique one in itself because we have somebody special today. And her name is Shanti. She's been helping us for a while, kind of in the background. And what she's the one who she's watching a lot of videos. She knows a lot of information. She's like a wealth of knowledge. And she writes up the questions for the Great Awakenings every week. And then I take those questions and I get on camera and I answer them, connecting to spirit. So we thought this time we could just kind of explore today. We could explore what's happening present time and do it together on Zoom. We thought that'd be kind of fun to just do this little collaboration and let you guys see what that energy is like. For two, conscious high vibe people to be working on something like this together, just creating together, basically. So, and both of us have had a very unique experience that I think would be really helpful for you guys. And it is that we've been in the 5D. So we want to explain to you or show you or kind of demonstrate or whatever, what it's like to be in that state of mind. I don't know if some people call it Satori, enlightenment, 5D, whatever it is, it's not like being human. And when you find somebody else that's of like mind who's been through it, it's so fun sharing your stories and how similar they are and that type of thing. So we're going to share a little bit of that with you today too, and then go on to some questions that Shanti has written down for us to explore as to where we're at in our crazy times right now. Okay, so Shanti, hello,
Hey,
welcome.
thank you. Hi, everyone.
So why don't you share your experience of being in the 5D and what that was like? I
Okay.
guess another way to say this, I guess, is just being in the present moment is another way we could say that. So what was it like being in the present moment and in the 5D, and how was it different than being like regular, like in the 3D world?
Uh, well, I guess when people say a state of flow, um, I've found that it's very hard for me to make appointments or times for things because I like being in just now and letting whatever happens happen. So I came to this understanding through doing a series of meditations, probably over a period of like 3 months. And at the same time, I was getting energy healing. And this was back in 2020. And when basically I started realizing what was really going on in the world. And it all sort of culminated at the same time to a point where I basically was elevated into a state. It was like a state of excitement, like that state of, or that feeling that you get in your stomach when you're really super excited. And it was like my whole body went into that state. And from that point on and off for a period of probably about 3 months, I was in that elevated state where everything was just in complete flow. Like I would think something and something would pop up. Like, for instance, simple things like I might think, I'd love a little table, and I would go for a walk around the block and like a perfect little table would be sitting there. It's very kind of, nothing like huge, but anything that I wanted in terms of in my daily life would just kind of pop up. So yeah, and then I realized I was questioning basically, why am I here? What am I doing? And I'd be questioning. And when I went into that state, I was just, this is it. That's it. It's like, just once you're in this state of flow, then that is literally it. Everything is created from that point because you're in a pure state. Yeah, and that's when I was like, okay, cool. And since then I've been on and off. I try and be in that state as often as possible. But yeah, that's and being in that heart space, open, curious, all of those things.
Yeah, I would have to say that mine was very similar to that. Very similar.
Mm.
Just very blissed out. Just very, yeah, excited. I've never heard the word excited used, but yes, like so excited your body is completely buzzing with this incredible alive energy. And it's really funny because we act like it's some kind of a rare experience, like, oh, I was myself, you know. But once you realize, you're just like, oh my gosh, we've been duped, because that's actually our natural self. That's
Yeah.
the way the Aborigines live naturally. The pure ones, they live that, not the drunks or whatever, but like the ancestors that would live, in
Yeah.
honor of the earth and all of that. Those guys, they knew how to stay in that state. And it's not even a state. That's what's really funny, is it's when we drop the persona of us and drop into that feeling of who we really are, which is that spaciousness and that, the essence of our soul. And we can live that. And for me, it felt like something had inhabited my body almost, or like but came in from the inside and grew out. And then all of a sudden I realized I was moving and operating, but my mind was not involved. Everything was just happening automatically. I was doing everything, like brushing my teeth or making a sandwich or doing whatever. But it was all this out of this really big expanded heart space toward everything I interacted with. I had love for the toothpaste, and love for the bed I was about to get into, and love for everything in my environment. I was like one with everything, and manifested very easily and quickly, like you're saying. So I think it's so as we're realizing more and more about our world right now and the state that we're in, the more we realize how upside down everything is, including this, because this should be where we're operating from 24/7. This should be a snap for us. We wouldn't even have to go through the awakening process if enough people were awakened to who they are. You know what I mean? It would all have been like, but it was meant to be the way that it was, the big experiment, I guess. And
Yeah.
so now we have to kind of undupe ourselves and remember who we are, so that we can kind of pop the dupe bubble and see things how they really are.
Yeah, because one thing that really stood out was nature just became everything. So
Mhm.
the plants, the trees, everything was glowing. So
Yes.
the color and everything. So I was really drawn to anything to do with nature. So
Yes.
I would be just like, oh, wow. And I just wander off, and, someone would be talking to me, and I would just look over and be like, oh my God, do you see? And they'd
Yes.
be like, what? Like, look how beautiful that flower is. Like,
Yes.
yeah, okay.
I
But yeah,
remember. Yeah, absolutely. Oh gosh, you'd be in love with the tree.
yeah.
You
We'll be
know,
cuddling trees, and I'll go on walks, and well, I still do this. And I would touch a tree, and the energy that came off it would elevate me even more. So I'd go around touching all the trees, and I'd come back, and I'd be like, in this even higher state of bliss. It was amazing.
wow.
Yeah. And I do that now, and it is amazing.
Yeah, and it's not what it was now, but I know what you mean. Like you're still
Yeah.
going forth with the reality of who you are now. And I remember the first time that I came back from that state. Sometimes some people say they come back from that and they feel totally depressed, because they now know what they're capable of. And and I believe the ego comes in and knocks you down out of it. So that's why Sarina Sargadatta Maharaj, in his book, I Am That, talks about how make straight your hooks so that you don't get hooked on it. It's like driving in with your car, hooks out the window. You would grab things as you drive by, but if you make straight your hooks, then everything's going
Yeah.
to swipe by. So it's like,
Streamline your hands.
yes, because otherwise I mean, I'm sure the ego brought you back into the world, thinking your brain
Yeah.
probably brought you back too. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the key, is to stay out of I'm getting tingles, but it's like the key is to stay out of thinking, stay out of ego, stay completely out of thinking, drop anything you think is important, and make all of your importance your state of presence right now. That's it. And if you can just drop everything, nothing else is important except for your state of presence. If you can just do that, then everything else in your life is completely taken care of, protected, and you'll manifest like crazy and have everything that you've ever needed. Isn't that crazy? It's just like,
yeah, absolutely. And the ego side of things is something that I'm really, really working on at the moment. And has been ever since then. It's sort of like I was put into that state, and then I had to look at everything in my life, and I had to work through every stage of my life, and start with, I love myself, because I think that's the hardest thing for everyone, to even just stand in front of a mirror and say, I love you, is, for a lot of people, it's very, very hard. And it was for me right at the beginning. When I started doing that, I was just like, it's full on. And it's the acceptance of self, and letting go of the ego of self, your image of yourself, like what people think of you, all of those things. None of that matters. Because when you're in that state of being, you're coming from a pure place, and people know that. It's just you say what you need to say in any given moment. You're not coming from judgment. That's another thing that I've had to deal with a lot, is judgment of me and me of others. We've been programmed to judge everything.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I found the same thing. Like the words would be given to me, they'd just come right out. And I never had to think about what I was going to say. It would just love exactly what they needed to hear.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I mean, imagine, if everyone knew who they were, that's what we're coming to.
Yeah.
They're waking up, and all, of course, they're seeing all the corruption and all that stuff is starting to happen, but there's a whole other level of awakening that's even just knowing who and what we really are and what we're made of and how powerful we are.
Going back to self and understanding, exactly how powerful we are as individuals. Like, we are magical, powerful. We're like, when you see all of these superhero movies, or fairies and things like that, like, it's all possible. Everything is possible, and it's all been hidden from us. So that's literally how magical we are.
That's so amazing. So amazing. Okay, so what are some of these things you had on your list that you want to explore today?
Well,
and why don't you explain, like, you were going to talk about, like, the past, the present, and the future? You want to go through that with everyone?
Oh yeah. So we were talking the other day, and this is another thing that we've, and I think a lot of people are discovering, when you have a conversation with someone, it's like you're opening locks, and so you're both unlocking knowledge between you. So rather than just being one person, when you're two, creation happens. So, and we were having this conversation about past, present, and future, and how, past is kind of a fear. It's like the old programming is fear. Whilst if we go into the present and we are in a state of curiosity, because that's something else I found. By being in the present, you are like a child. Basically, you're going back to childhood, because you have no judgment. It doesn't matter what you do or say, because you don't have that. What's the word?
It's like eager anticipation. Eager anticipation, right? Oh,
yeah, exactly.
What's next?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And there's no self-awareness, I guess. It's like you're just in the moment. So you're just being. And yeah, so I'd call the present a sort of an energy of inquisitiveness. And then through understanding how we create, we are creators. And I think the first thing that made me really realize that was thought equals energy equals matter, which is apparently a proven equation. So our thoughts create energy, create matter. So when I realized that, okay, there's actually a proven equation, so that, you know, being in a state of from understanding that, I then came to realize that in your state, when you are creating, you need to be in a state of excitement. So you picture, you imagine whatever it is, and you feel that feeling, because something that you really want to do and you're really looking forward to is a feeling of excitement. So when I realized that when you create things, you need to be in that state. And if you can't get into that state, it's not meant to be. So it's like, it's a natural thing. It's a natural progression. So yeah, so then I started looking at the future being like a state of excitement, because I think that's how everyone should also be feeling about our future, because there is, you know, it's going to be amazing.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It is. And we're creating from that present moment. So if we're in a state of fear, then we're creating the past, really, because we go back to
Yeah.
that fear state. But the
Yeah.
fear, but the past and the future are only an illusion, because the only thing real is actually just the present moment.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
do we want to live in a fantasy world where we're creating negative things, or do we want to be in reality, be here now?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
from that eager anticipation of,
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
what if? How
Well,
about?
yeah.
Yeah. What's
Yeah.
your
And
questions? Your questions
Mhm.
about Tartaria and us exploring all these different subjects about what's possible coming in the future. That's what that's
Yeah.
doing. We're co-creating.
Yeah, exactly. And I think I think there's a lot of us that are past this fear part, and we just want to create. We don't want to, we know what's happened, we know what's been going on. We're now in a state where we want to create our world. And the old ways of looking at things, like I'm finding, is just, I know it, and that's okay. That's what it is, and that's the past, that fear programming, etc. But when I look at the world, I'm just like, the potential is huge. It's endless and it's magical. So
You know,
yeah.
it's funny because I've been talking to, shopping and bouncing things off of friends and being like,
Yeah.
so what do you know about celery? So what do you know about watermelon? So oh, well, here's what I know. And they used to put chemicals in this stuff, but I think it's been cleaning up. And then what about this? Oh yeah, well it's like bouncing things off of each other. Or what do you know about the humanitarian projects? Well, from what I understand, la 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 la, it's like we're having all these conversations and everything's a buzz, and we're just like, oh, so okay, so if we had a garden, then that we should do this, and I bet we could run into a master gardener who could help with this, that, and the other thing. So it's like, we're all kind of pulling together, sharing ideas, and there are some people who are really, really great and intuitive, and there are some people who are master gardeners, and there are some people who are master builders, and there are some people who are great problem solvers. And we're all kind of putting our ideas together in that, like you were talking about, like being that childlike curious state, like, hey, like a few kids getting together with building blocks and being like, what kind of village do you want to make? Like, what are these people going to be like? And what is this going to have, like just having fun and
Yeah.
playing like
And
little kids.
knowing, yeah, exactly. And knowing that we're all part of the jigsaw puzzle. We're all pieces that go together. Like when I think of things I need, like you say, I know there's going to be someone who has that knowledge that can help us. So it's not like, oh, I've got to learn everything. It's no, like we all have the knowledge we need and we're all unlocking it.
Yes.
And there's, and our past, things we've learned in our past will come to the fore. Because there's, everyone's learned stuff that they've, put away and gone, oh, well, I don't need that. And then suddenly it's like, oh, I learned that for a reason.
Yeah. And the exchanging and trading going on.
Yeah,
I'll do this
exactly.
for you if you'll do this for me. Hey, that sounds fun. And then maybe the
Yeah,
two of them get together and create a whole other, oh, well, there's also we. And we
yeah,
could do this for them and they could do for us. And it's
yeah,
like this.
yeah.
Yeah.
Being collectives rather than individuals. Yeah. I talked to friends about starting a collective to do a particular thing and realized quite quickly that they weren't at the state that that could happen because people are still in the mode of, well, I've got to have everything first, and I've got to look after myself first, which of course is correct in a lot of ways. But as a collective, when you start realizing, actually, when you let go of this old kind of fear of almost
Lack,
like a, hey,
lack.
yeah, fear of, yeah, exactly, lack mentality, yeah, like a hoarding kind of like, oh, I've got to have all of, and again, even that has been something I've had to go through with, like, what's going to happen and like, what are we going to need? And it's like getting all this stuff to the point where it's like, hang on a minute, I'm going to be looked after. So it's okay. Whatever happens is okay. That kind of, yeah, just that letting go of everything, that detachment. It's okay.
Yeah. Well, I think everybody has to love themselves right where they're at. So if
Mm,
people are still hoarding and they feel like it's loving to do that for themselves, to look after themselves first, and then once they're
yeah.
okay, they start extending to others. It's all okay.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
it feels so much better when you're on the when you start to, you may even have days when you feel like in that hoarding space or collecting space, looking out
Yeah,
for yourself. And then the
absolutely.
next day you're so expansive and you're giving to the neighbors and friends. And you may fluctuate and go back and forth, but it's all part of that growth process we're all going through right now, coming into that 5D energy.
Yeah, there's always the saying, put your own life jacket on first.
Yeah, right.
And so,
And it does
yeah,
make you feel, it can, as you're coming out of that energy, it can make you feel safe enough to give. And then when you're safe enough to give, you feel silly for having held back or whatever.
yeah, yeah,
You just keep having these realizations and epiphanies as you go along. Oh, this is an easier way to be. Oh my gosh, why did like, remember when you would think that healing was hard?
yeah,
Oh, it's like you like, before I realized that healing was actually a really easy thing, or really, oh my gosh, like it was the most liberating thing to realize how beneficial healing is. Because I used to cover things up or whatever, move things around, or just avoid having to look at it. You would have told me I'd go to a counselor and I'd be like, no way. Oh, oh, hide it, press it down, press it down, press it down. Lots of tears would come out, all this stuff, and then I realized, once I realized that once you actually kind of jump into the healing and don't give a crap at all, you're just like, let's go there. I'm going to cry if I need to, or
yeah,
rip things apart or whatever I got to. I'm going to go there, and I'm going to go there hard. All of a sudden, boom, there's this liberation and this freedom that happens. And you're
yeah,
just like, why didn't I do this before? It was awful. What a horrible feeling to live, covering things up and pushing them down and trying to hide them or whatever. It's like, dude, no, just shout it from the freaking rooftops. It feels amazing. And it just
exactly.
lifts off of you. And then all of a sudden you love everybody more and you're kinder to people. And it's natural. It's not forced. It's not this people pleasing like program. Oh, thank you, ma'am. I hope you're having a good day. And you don't really mean it, and neither do they. Nobody really cares. It's more
Yeah,
of a genuine, you look at somebody and you'll just smile from the love in your heart because you love yourself enough to cut yourself slack, you
yeah,
know?
absolutely.
And it's
Yeah,
it's just
one thing that really clicked with that was when I started understanding that trauma is held in your body. And so when you start realizing that, and when that trauma comes back, you just let it go. So you might have to cry for half a day or 2 days, whatever it is. Or you might have to be really angry, but you need to let it out. And once you let it out, it's gone. That's it. Done. You don't have to talk about it. Nothing. It's an energy.
Exactly.
Exactly.
You can just let
And
it
the
let it off.
intention behind it as well. Your
Yeah.
intention of just releasing and letting go, understanding it for what it is, and yeah, see ya. You know, it's great.
Yeah. Do I
Like
really want to?
I almost look, yeah, I look forward to it, even though I know it's hard and it can be, you know, it can be dark, but I know there's light on the other side of the darkness.
Oh yeah. Well, I get triggered and I go, ooh, there's a good one. Like I found a good
Yeah,
little nugget to deflate my ego. Like any chance I have to find something that's left of my
yeah,
ego, I go, ooh,
yeah,
that's awesome. It's like, I don't know, it's like deep cleaning your
yeah,
place. You find a puddle of dry stuff that had spilled there before, and you're like, give me the sponge. I'm gonna get that really good. I didn't realize that had spilled back there. I don't
yeah,
know. It's kind of a
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's
because
not
any triggers is what's left, right?
yeah.
Anything that triggers you is something you haven't detached from or let go of. And it's, yeah, so it's like, oh, okay, it's still there. I've got to look
Yeah.
at it again and let it go. Yeah,
And it becomes I guess it feels good because you know that it's another chance to be more free than you were before.
yeah,
It's like taking the weeds out of the
absolutely.
garden.
Yeah.
Each weed you get taken out. Oh, the garden bed looks beautiful without all these weeds. Wow.
And
Okay,
all the
so
flowers start popping up.
yeah.
um, yeah, I mean, and that's what we were talking about the other day with everyone is kind of going through cleansing processes as well. Like like me personally, I'm getting rid of everything that I don't need for a functioning house. And my personal stuff, I feel like it should be able to fit into a box, you know? Like, I mean, really, how much do you need?
Yeah,
Um,
I think everyone's going through that. And we
yeah,
all know some huge changes coming. We're all going to be moving, or we're all
yeah,
going to be becoming a part of a community. It's that feeling of, whoa, I better get my bags packed. And yeah,
yeah,
everyone I know is sorting and they're taking tons of naps. That's the other thing right now.
yeah,
Just sleep. Don't give yourself a hard time or think anything's wrong with you. Just go sleep when you need to. And
exactly.
even
Listen
our
to your body.
yeah, and it could be even that nighttime isn't right. Maybe nighttime isn't right. Maybe you were supposed to take a nap at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. And
Yeah,
maybe we were supposed to be awake for 6 hours, go to sleep for 6 hours and wake up for 6 hours and go to bed for 6 hours, but they've effed with us there too, because they're
yeah,
we don't know. So just honor your natural sleep cycle, because everything is becoming more authentic, more natural, and more organic right now. Everything. In every way,
yeah,
shape, and form. Relationships, communication, friendships, gardens, food,
yeah,
you know.
yeah, absolutely.
Oh, and I just wanted to throw out there, you guys should try some non-alcoholic beer, wine, champagne, drinks in
Oh,
general. Or
yeah,
like I've been trying them lately. I've never tried them before. And oh my gosh, they're really good. And you really feel like you're having it, they're just as gratifying. Or you don't
yeah,
really feel like you're being gypped of anything at all. It's just a nice way to end your night, just to have a non-alcoholic beer. I'm
yeah,
calling it like a fluffy beer. Because it's just fluff. Like but it's
yeah,
good, like alternatives, just even if you want to make a little change, or even do something that's more authentic. You know what? I always agree to do that, and I really just don't want to be doing that anymore. I'm just going to decide not to now.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I've been through stages of drinking, not drinking, and drinking doesn't suit me. And, I've come to a point where I had to go through an observational process, watching
Yes.
myself drinking alcohol, going, okay, am I feeling good? No, I'm not. And I'm not enjoying this. And it's just not good. But then I've also been in a state where I've been out and I've been around people who are drinking, and the energy of them being drunk has made me drunk.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's a total, you could, if somebody just handed you a non-alcoholic beer, you'd never know. And you
Yeah.
drank it, you'd probably start feeling stumbly and drunk and giggly and giddy and
Yeah.
silly.
Yeah,
Totally.
exactly. Yeah,
Absolutely.
because that elevated energy from it is literally creating it. So it's like, oh, this is good.
Absolutely.
And then, and then you have no hangover and you go home, at a reasonable time, basically when everyone starts repeating themselves. And the conversation doesn't really make any sense anymore.
Or somebody starts getting belligerent.
Yeah, exactly. You just go, okay,
Okay, time for us
I'm
to
going
go
home.
home. This.
Yeah.
Oh God.
No.
Okay, so what are some of those questions you've got? Let's get to
Well,
some of these questions.
I was going to ask you to look into the energy of the general population at the moment and how overall people are feeling,
Okay.
because it, like, to us, and
Wow.
what?
I'm shocked. The cards that just came out right now. Okay. So we have the Empress, the Moon, and the Fool. And then the Knight of, wow. And the Knight, this is, you guys, I never would have thought this. Empress, the Moon, and the Fool. Okay. With the Knight of Swords underneath the deck. So, and the Seven of Swords and what is that? The Nine of Wands. So, okay. So people are coming out of a victim mentality and out of their insecurities. And they're anticipating that new beginning. Maybe that's those who are watching right now, and they're like really looking forward to an abundant new start, and they want to charge head forward, and they're full of faith, and they're wanting to do the right thing and fight for what's right, and they're taking a look at their shadow side, and they're wanting to kind of create a new clean slate for themselves, and they want to totally empower themselves and get over their ego.
There you go. Perfect.
I was not anticipating that. Actually, looks like a lot of people are looking forward to getting a bunch of money for the humanitarian projects and starting to work hard on those things and do a lot of planning for that. Or maybe they're either anticipating getting into that planning mode, or they're already in that planning mode of feeling like a millionaire already, feeling abundant already, and like what do I do with this energy? And if you look at the Seven of Pentacles and you add her pentacle of the Queen of Pentacles, then you've got 8 pentacles. So they know that it's going to be a lot of hard work. And that's partially also, gosh, and the Emperor to match that energy, and the Sun healing, getting into their
Wow.
power and doing some major healing, or maybe even healing the children, taking charge of this situation with children and healing that. The miracles. People are anticipating miracles and dreams coming true. We got some great people on this channel.
There we go.
Amazing. So yeah, wow. So, and that's a lot of coins. So I think people are really anticipating this RV thing happening big time. Their mind is on that, like it's going to happen any second. There's going to be this big shocking event where there will be a lot of death and regret, but it's going to balance out, and it's going to be finally the end of a difficult period. This is telling a story, and there's going to be this massive healing, and looking forward to a bright future as people get more vulnerable and come out of the shadows. I feel like even some divine masculines rising up from the shadows and starting to fight, because many of them have slipped into a depressive state or just gone through hell and back, and they've kind of, we've already been through that, so we know what that feels like, and no judgment, and but it feels like a lot, because we're like through this whole thing, a lot of the mama bears have come out. It's like, where are the men? Like, who's rising? What men are rising up? Maybe dear Danny, maybe Michael Jacobs more on his feminine side, but there's like, it's
Yeah,
like, okay.
absolutely. I mean, I think also this kind of had to happen, because the masculine has been, it's been the era of wars and fear and pain and all of those things under the masculine. And so I think it's a balancing out that the majority of people who are awoken or woken, whatever you want to, awoken, awake, are feminine. So I think that energy has to come back to its full power to balance the divine masculine feminine.
Absolutely. So this isn't a gender thing either, to keep in mind. Like, this is the men and women alike who are in the masculine energy or feminine. They're balancing out and they're coming together as a team, and they're fighting the good fight now. And they're starting, I feel like they're starting to break, what do you call it? Starting to make some momentum going forward, starting to gain ground, gain traction. Okay.
Absolutely. Yeah,
that's cool. A great energy to be in.
Yeah.
Okay, so what's next?
Okay. Okay, where's the white hat sitting? Okay. I mean, I guess a lot of people have been questioning, when events will happen. And we know, whenever it happens, it needs to kind of be a surprise for everyone. So we don't want to know necessarily specifics, but, I guess the energy around them, what they're looking at, timing.
I feel when you said that, I feel soon. I was just anticipating something yesterday, today, and now I just felt June 2nd. So I feel like it could be shifting back and forth, like, well, should we do it now? Should we do it now? Should we do it now? Should we do, So I'm gonna look here. So divine intervention in regards to death. It almost feels like something interceded with something that was going to cause some damage. And because this is also like ET's looking out for us in regards to death. So they just said they want us to know that we're on their side, that they are here to help, and that they're here to transform and clean up the earth. Even if you look at the pictures, the death has been the energy that we've been in for a while now. And this is what we're coming into with the new earth. And there's an angel heading it up, bringing that. Look at the balance of the masculine and feminine right there. And those two cups getting balanced. Those are the angels helping to bring that balance of a destructed ground, this destructed earth here. So they're bringing clarity. They really want the victory. They really want people to be independently wealthy and to get the money that actually is already theirs, that they haven't claimed for like a long time, ever, ever. By their birth certificates, everybody's a millionaire. Nobody knows that. Nobody realizes that. But I feel like they are really wanting to bring a sense of victory and clarity and that independent feeling of independent wealth and flourishing and success to everybody. So they must be feeling really, and also the Nine of Pentacles is about like breaking off from what other people do. It's about individualism. It's about them doing their own thing. So they must feel like they're on a path to victory, and they're going to be, they're going to help everybody have this really abundant feeling. And let's see what else. And I just got the word rescue. Somebody rescued. Oh, well, look at that. And somebody looks like they're coming out of a dump. Maybe they got a kid in their hand or something like that, or they're holding the light to come out of the darkness. Again, I feel like the masculine's rising up out of the darkness, being like, okay, I'm here. I know I'm late, but I'm here. And look at this. They're gathering knowledge, and they're getting ready for a victory and success, and they're going to be giving back. So now this card is also implying with children, but it could be spreading knowledge, gathering knowledge. It could be a small message, which could be like a quick message, or it could be a harsh message, which the EBS could be something like that. Harsh, quick, fast, something like that gives back and helps everybody feel victorious. So it could be that they're, and it's something having to do with children.
So what percentage of the underground do you think is complete?
The dumbs and whatnot?
Yeah.
Believe it or not, I get like 96%, like most. Mm-hmm. They're going to be talking about children. Maybe something's going to come out having to do with
disclosure of what's been going on.
They really want to get, I just felt like they really want to give back to the truthers.
Yeah.
They really, really want to just give all the truthers a big hug. You know, like it's all right. It's okay. We're here. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like, just, you know, yeah.
Yeah.
Like you being in a stressed out situation, and then your parents drive, if you like your parents drive up and pull up, and you run to the car, and it's like, oh, we're all okay. It's like I just got chills. Like it's everyone's going to feel that way that knows what's going on in this world. That's what
Yeah.
the feeling is going to be. That's
Yeah.
what they're trying to bring to us.
Yeah, because that's what's needed, because I mean, you know, not me personally, but I know there's people who are becoming despondent because they're not seeing enough, you know, enough going on. I mean, I personally, you know, am seeing a lot, and there is a huge amount going on, but it's been, you know, it's gone on so long that people are kind of like, come on, we're ready now.
Exactly. And that, you know, this kind of reiterates what I was saying about going back and forth and back and forth. When do we end the difficult period and bring the healing on? So this is exactly what they're going through right now. But it's night and day. It feels like night and day, because you have that picture right here about the healing and picture right here about the healing, but one is the sun and the other is like the moon. So night and day, around the clock, maybe they're fluctuating back and forth and back and forth. Do we do it now? Do we do it now? And I feel like they're slowly leaking information that's courageous to do, that's giving people courage, making them feel stronger, taking them from boys to men, helping people rise up. And it could involve the military, because we've got the Knight of Wands there too, but also the children. It's the what subject could there be that unites the world, that everybody would feel really defensive about, that could help everybody rise up and be strong to fight against it, right? And that could be like the gateway to them. You know, everybody cares about children. Everybody cares about children, and they want them to be safe. So once the whole world knows what's going on there, everybody comes together. It's the thing that can unite everybody. So I think they must be planning something having to do with is this about the children? Just something really blatant being put out there about the children? Yes. And not so shocking, not the shocking stuff. It feels like, because they don't, you know, they don't want to show graphics probably right yet. They said they're saving that for the tribunals. They're saving some of that stuff for the tribunals, but for now, they want to make it real evident and a lot more clear what's been going on behind the scenes. Why they just said missing children, like even why, oh, that's why they've been putting out a bunch of like false missing children, those Amber Alerts all over the place.
Yeah, okay.
Because they're trying to show it's an issue, you guys. So we might see an increase in those too.
Well, what's the numbers? It's like 8 million a year. 8 million children go missing every year. I mean, that's,
yeah.
Like, in what world is that okay?
So they feel like they're barreling forward. They're figuring out a way to barrel forward, and provide some clear communication through the confusion, and to be like unstoppable going forward in a balanced way, to help heal everybody and get them in a more abundant, grounded mindset for a brand new start and healing. Now, these are all different cards saying the same message.
Great.
And they want to transform the fear. They want to help people get into their power and fight rather than be afraid.
Yep. Yeah, and I think that's a lot where we're at now, is that we can help people understand, like, really how truly powerful each person is. Like, I can't remember who it was that said the other day that, you know, each individual person shines more light than all of the darkness out there. One person.
Oh, absolutely.
So when you think about it like that.
Yeah, and somebody present in the moment has the power of like 1,000 people.
Yeah.
So we need to all be very present.
Probably more than that. Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah.
If we just have one person in every city, become enlightened, become, you know, present.
And I think that's also another reason that, you know, we've been so spread out. We're all over the world, you know?
Yes,
It's like we've
that's a
been put
great
in
point.
certain, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Excellent point. I think a lot of us have.
Okay, so what, sorry?
Oh, I said I think a lot of people have friends all over the world
Oh,
because
you've frozen.
I can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you
Oh,
hear me
that's just
now?
saying my internet.
Can you hear me now? Can you?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can, but you're frozen again.
Am I frozen? Or am I moving? Or am I frozen? Or am I
Yeah,
moving?
so that might just be my internet.
Okay. Meow,
Mm.
meow, meow,
You're
meow.
frozen on my screen.
Should
There
I?
we go.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh, are we good? Okay.
Um, okay, so what's the energy around the dark side?
Energy around the dark side, please. Energy around the dark side. What's going on? Oh, I see a bunch of people hustling. There's people that were like hidden or under things or something because it's like remember that hermit picture? It's like
Hmm.
I feel like them going to each other and be like, okay, come on out of here. We got to get the hell out of here. Like
Yeah.
almost like their time is up.
Yeah.
Let me look at the cards. Yeah, I feel like hurry, hurry, our time is up. They're worried. They're worried about miracles. They're really conflicted about the miracles. It's like they're seeing miracle. Oh, the ETs. I think they're seeing some. Oh, I just got that some of their plans were thwarted. Things. Remember that I got that something was kind of like something, some kind of death was going to happen, but intervention happened.
Yeah.
So something like that happened, and I think they're working hard to collaborate together and clamor. I'm getting a clamoring energy because they're really worried about the miracles that are happening right now.
Yeah, because they're
Um,
realizing how powerful
they're feeling
everything.
very burdened. They're feeling really burdened. Some of them, it's making them switch over to the good side.
Mm. Yeah, because I'm sure a lot of them have been, you know, given outs opportunities.
I was just going to say some of them are going to be apologizing for him and having been involved with the cabal.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they're trying to overcome some black magic, even some of them. Mind control. Mind control.
Yeah, well, that's just it. The M and K and Ultra,
Yeah.
I think is a huge thing.
You know, I feel like I just felt a lot of them being afraid of being hung or something like that over
Mm,
what they did to the children. They just said what they allowed to even be
yeah,
done.
yeah,
Not necessarily that they did it, but they allowed it. They didn't stop it. Even some of them feeling very,
yeah,
very guilty.
yeah. Being part of the system.
Oh, interesting. Huh. Some of them, some of them that didn't want to be involved in it feel like, thank God it's over. Some of
Yeah.
them feel like relieved and they're ready to fight the good fight. You know, like I would imagine some of the celebrities, people like that were kind of forced into it, or maybe they
Mhm.
grew up in it and never thought that it was right, or part of them always wondered, this doesn't feel right. You know, those some of those people are rising up knowing that they're seeing others that were just, yes, I'm seeing like people arrested, and people who were like the relatives of those people that were arrested are relieved that
Mhm.
justice is happening.
Yeah.
Like, oh, thank God that's over. Or thank God that, the queen got beheaded, or thank God that it's like they know something has happened and justice is happening, and they're looking forward to some of them are actually celebrating, drinking and celebrating.
You would
But
be.
they're
Yeah.
yeah, but they're
Yeah, you
feeling
would
like
be. I mean,
they're looking forward. They're actually some of these bad guys are looking forward to these times because they or the families of these bad guys or whatever, some of them that were involved, like I feel one foot in, one foot out, even, or, just a little bit. Yeah.
yeah. Great.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I want to also, oh, Judgment of the devil, judgment of the devil, and lies, wanting to cut deals, trying to be strong, mental conflict, secrets being revealed, and things going very, very quickly. I kind of like just wanting it to be over. I feel like some of them just wanting it to be over. Let me look at some world truth cards. This situation involves addiction, obsession, or mental prison.
There you go.
This will happen, conclude, or resolve within a few weeks. Look for, they're afraid of, they know that people are now looking into hidden meaning, signs, symbols, and imagery because they know it's going to tell the people all they need to know. And they're scared of that.
Yeah, symbolism will be their downfall.
Yep. This situation could involve an illusion of a false sense of security. So make sure your faith is in the right thing, and you're informed so you don't get duped. I feel like what that is they realize it was an illusion what they fell for, and it was a false foundation that's now crumbling. And they're like, what do I put my faith in now? And there is dangerous, nefarious artificial intelligence involved in this that didn't have their best interest at heart, but acted like it did, And there was also subconscious dream warfare involved, so that they wouldn't know where it was coming from. Maybe they thought that it was them, Some people who get depressed and they get caught up in all that stuff, I just tell them that wasn't you. Just know that wasn't you. That was artificial intelligence. That was mind control. That was, so don't give yourself a hard time if you've been there.
Yeah,
it was done to you. You just got duped. Oh my gosh, there will be unexpected, shocking news to be revealed soon. It's to awaken the population and make them aware of important issues that need our attention. Isn't that amazing? Someone's plan has been stopped and they're switching tactics to try to still achieve their goal. See them clamoring around. They're clamoring around. And the situation or system is being taken over by good people, is being revamped, and will no longer exist as it's been. If possible, it will not be closed, but repurposed. Okay.
Perfect.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good Lord, it's been a ride.
Oh, yeah.
So what can people do? What can people do when, am I frozen again?
No, you're all good.
Okay. What can people do if they hear a piece of news or something? Everybody's on everybody should join Shanti's wonderful Telegram group, Intuitive News, if you don't know about that. But what would you suggest people do if they get caught up in monkeypox? Oh,
yeah.
Or whatever the newest thing is.
I have repeatedly told various people that, a lot of this is literally there to wake people who are not awake up and to start questioning. Because once you start really questioning, and once you just know. So and then you can let all of that stuff go. You don't really need to know it, because once you've investigated it all, you're like, okay, well, this is what happened, this is what happened, this is what happened. So then you're just looking at the general energy of what's happening now, rather than falling into all these fear pits. It's like, suddenly falling into panic. So I guess if that happens, start questioning why you're feeling that. And really look at it. Don't just fall into it, step back, observe yourself, detach from it. Why am I feeling like this? Is this real? Really look at it, observe it.
Yeah, and maybe take it, do Byron Katie's work, or, thank you, God, for my misery is a good one too, or just go into your heart space, even just touch your heart. I love you. We got this. It's going to be all right. I got you.
Yeah. And if you're feeling like, like there's like bad energy around, have a salt bath, go ground yourself, go spend time in nature, walk away from TVs and screens and anything like that, because, Just walking into nature will help.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Hmm.
Talk to a friend who can boost your faith and get you back on track.
Yep,
Here's how I'm
absolutely.
looking at this situation. Here's how, oh, okay. Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Because
And
really now, yeah, we're in this kind of limbo where we know what's happened and we know what the future's going to be. Generally, we know it's going to be good. So, I'm at a stage where I just, I'm in creation stage, basically, where I'm looking to the future and imagining all the amazing things we'll be able to do.
mhm. I also like to pray, thank you, God. God meaning group of deities, spirit. Thank you, or you could even thank yourself.
Yeah,
Thank you. Thank you for showing me the truth in all things. And what if I ever feel like anything might go wrong or something like that, or I think it has gone wrong, I immediately catch it the second I even have the thought, and I'll state the opposite as if that's already been happening. Like, oh, thank you that the EBS has gone off and we're all relieved, and all of us who know the truth are finally I can sigh relief. I'm so excited. Thank you, thank you, thank you for this incredible miracle that's happened. Thank you that we're all free. Thank you that we're all sovereign. Thank you that we're all taken care of. Thank you that we're now celebrating. This is so exciting. Oh my gosh, just be in that like excitement, and
yeah,
it just correct the energy, because you have to start fine tuning or mastering the art of just, you can contemplate it and don't give yourself a hard time when you judge it or examine it or look at it, but then boom, switch it around. Oh, thank goodness. This has just been the most incredible thing. I'm so glad that happened. It taught me so much. And, say it as if you've already, as if it's months after the EBS happened. It's months after everybody knows, everybody you can imagine, all your family, your friends, and everybody finally all know the truth, and
yeah,
speak to, like, you're thanking God for all of that having happened. And
yeah,
that's how we're manifesting it, and
absolutely.
collaborating with each other about ideas and dreaming about things and how we're going to do things and how we're going to live going forward, and like what will the communities look like, or our homes, or
Being
what do we
able
want to
to
build.
travel,
Yeah,
you know,
where do we
just
want to
being,
go? Yeah.
yeah, being completely free to go wherever you want to go, whenever you want to go. Not worrying about money, everyone's going to have what they need, like full abundance for everyone
Hmm.
equally.
Yeah.
None of this third world rubbish anymore.
Yeah.
None of the control mechanisms, none of the fear. Just being able to do everything you want to do, and not being, again, and not being judged for thinking outside the box, because that's what's been happening my whole life anyway. If you think outside of, or you imagine something outside of what people see as possible, we just looked at as if you're crazy,
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely. All that's
Yeah,
going to be changing. I just heard that all that's going to be changing.
yeah,
So let's look at some oracle cards.
good idea.
Okay, so Mary Magdalene, what do you have to say about these times? What does the audience need to know? What do we need to hear about these changing times that we're in? Mary Magdalene, what is your message for us at this time? Okay. Confusion.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. Confusion. Conflicting thoughts regarding a major decision is causing you to feel confused. You may be feeling as if you don't know which way to turn at the moment. You feel unable to choose between that which you truly would love and that which you think you must do. At the heart of this issue lies a deep-seated sense of obligation to others. You're afraid that you might disappoint or hurt another by choosing what you love. The best course of action for you at this time is to take a few steps back. Don't place extra pressure on yourself by thinking that you must decide right now. Give yourself time. If possible, take a short break away from it. Bring some peace and quiet into your life, and over the coming days, things will be clearer. Your primary obligation is to honor what you truly feel in your heart. Others will understand in time. So what do you want to say about that?
Well, that's exactly what's happening now, because we're coming out of the old programming. So it's the old programming holding people in that judgment, or that state of being judged for what they truly love, and being able to step forward into the unknown, because it really is the unknown. But it's that trust in self. Because once you start trusting in yourself and listening to yourself, then everything flows from there.
Yeah. Listening to those intuitive nudges gets easier the more you practice. And you
Yeah.
start to realize that when you're in the flow with life and you go toward the synchronicities, if something starts being too difficult and it's like square peg, round hole, then you're headed in the wrong direction. You got to switch up and start going in a flow direction where everything feels really synchronistic and magical and easy, and it flows and it's smooth and it's exciting. So just keep switching it up and following your heart, and it seems to work out for everybody involved. Haven't you seen that too?
Yes, absolutely. And even in those states of confusion, allow yourself to sit with it. Don't be like, I've got to get out of this straight away. Like, just question and just go, okay, well, why am I feeling this? Just look at it. You don't have to get out of it straight away, because sometimes it's just something you've got to go through.
Like the drinking thing.
Yeah, exactly. You've got to go through all of those stages, and eventually it will just fall away.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's like with your new divine council meeting video. I think that will really help a lot of people, because they'll be able to connect to their intuition a lot stronger.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, especially if they keep a journal.
Yeah.
It'll give you a lot of confidence. Like, what are the miracles that have happened to me? What are the neat things that have happened where I know that I'm protected?
Yeah.
Like, things like
Yeah.
that.
Bigger.
Okay. So yeah, I agree completely. Just and isn't it nice? Okay. So square peg round hole sometimes can be being in the wrong relationship, for example, and
Yeah.
you're trying to people please them and you're trying to make it work and everything seems to be falling apart and slipping through your fingers and it's all just going wrong and you're trying to fix it, fix it, fix it. But the minute you just put your hands up and go, you know what, this just isn't in my heart of hearts, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they're like, oh gosh, okay. In my heart of hearts, it wasn't fitting either. And
Yeah.
then both of you can take a good look if they're mature enough, if everybody involved is like, whoo, and you can let it all go. And it just seems to work out so beautifully at that moment. It's just like, oh, thank goodness, because that was going to affect me in this way. And I was going to have to change this and this, it's always like a relief when the truth comes out
Yeah.
because
So
they knew it anyway.
it feels
Huh?
like Dick is going to bark at me in a second because he hasn't had his walk. Hey.
But it's always a relief because it's like even when you're with the wrong person, they know it, they feel it, they see you daydreaming out the window, looking out the window, thinking of someone else or doing whatever. So they
Yeah.
they know. So yeah, they may be mad, but they also are going to be relieved, and they're going to be able to go towards something that's their truth too. So let me just pull a couple cards, and you can bring him on his walk. What a sweetie. Progress, not perfection. Don't compare yourself to others and don't judge yourself. Instead, focus upon how far you've come and all that you've learned. That's so true because we're all at different levels right now. Spiritual protection. You are being watched over and protected physically, emotionally, and energetically, which we'll do a blessing too in a second. Religious or spiritual community. Join with like-minded people for friendship and increased spiritual growth and support. Purification and detoxification. So let me pick some of these
Perfect.
ones.
So
Huh?
I really feel that's what everyone's doing. They're basically detoxifying their lives, looking at
Yes,
every aspect, going, does that suit me? No. Why do I need to do it? I don't. You know?
exactly. So have faith and hope because there's something positive and new on the horizon that you can't see yet. This is so amazing. Time out. You've been so busy taking care of everyone else's needs, but now it's time to stop and take good care of yourself. So taking those naps and things and giving yourself nourishment. You deserve the best. Reach for the stars. with your dreams and desires and do not compromise. And then you are a light worker. God needs you to shine your divine light and love like an angel upon the earth and all its inhabitants. That's so perfect. Okay, one more. Oh my gosh, I'm the angel of marriage and I'm assisting you right now. So some of these true love counterparts are going to come together.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because that's another thing that, I think in the future, people are just going to know that they are together. It's not going to be this whole, it's just going to be a natural thing,
yeah.
which is exciting.
Yes, yay. Okay, so anything else before I do a blessing for everyone?
No, perfect. Thank
Thank you.
you.
This was beautiful. I enjoyed this today.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Everybody just relax your shoulders, take a deep breath. Shine tai he po mama ana ke la sa sen si chike na ai he am pa ma ana e hai la en shi shin ta te kin sa se e la he ho ma an hai ke shi shin na tai o po po mo hai ke ens se la he shin she la e na e ke sa se he la o mo na i ke hai la shishi nai ho la ena an pam pama hai ke hai la shishi na ha pu pu ma ain hai la kidina hai shishin sa ha la mama na kai tai san. Ooh, holy crap. I got major goosebumps.
Yeah, beautiful.
Ah. All right. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for those of you who are watching right now. Thanks for being a part of this. And I hope it really helps. We'll be doing more of these in the future about different subjects we come up with, if you're willing. So you can look forward to future talks. And thank you so much again. And we will talk to you the next time we make one of these. Bye.
Yeah.